Everybody, welcome back to Purplatypus is the name, and welcome to another sort of Convallaria video. Today we're going to be looking at this dual banner. I'm a little bit behind on looking at this dual banner, but I wanted to look at it today. They added Garcia and Leonide. So Garcia, this is a rerun for her. She was a fish. She was originally with Nurgle. She's the one with the gun bow thing, right? So she was on a banner with her, and I did pull both of them. So I've talked about her multiple times, so I'm gonna quickly go over her, but we'll go not too in depth because like I've just released videos on her. She's one of my favorite characters in the game at a high star level. Plus she has literally the coolest weapon. It's a big Beyblade, you know, let it rip. I don't think she's strong enough to lift it, but God, you know, I guess I'm wrong. All right. So let's take a look at Leonide here as well, because I haven't really looked at him at all on the channel outside of the PvP matches. One thing worth noting is if you have the, we'll talk about it when we get to the ability. So let's take a look at what he actually does. Fearless Charge. Before an attack or a charge, for each tile he's traversed, his damage increases by 8% and he ignores 10% defense of the target. This does not have a cap, right? For each tile he is traversed. Now, I don't know if you do the trick where you teleport. Like if I'm really far away and I move, like but if you can move 10 tiles, somehow you could then do 100%. I assume it sounds like it stacks. His damage increased by 8% and he ignores 100% of the defense of the target. So if you can get 80% increased damage, 100% ignore defense, you're going to be one shot in almost everything. This ability is insane, but it depends on how it exactly works. If you can make it work, it's map dependent. It could be very awkward. If you can do the teleport trick, it's going to be broken. If you can't do the teleport trick and it's restricted by movement, you could still do pretty good if you're using your PvE stuff to let him move really far. But after he actively attacks with skills other than an instant skill, the effect ends and he gains charge damage reduction. So basically you are allowed to move a bunch, use an instant skill, and it won't end the effect. And you get the charge damage reduction. This is reduces damage taken by a certain percentage. It doesn't tell me, I guess. Oh, maybe I'm reading this wrong, but effect: decrease damage taken by 30% for 2 turns. If he moved and charged no less than 5 tiles, he ignores block and dodge of the target. Trait enters a cooldown for 1 turn. So basically he can move really far, hit really hard once every other turn. If you move at least 5 tiles, then you are going to ignore their block and their dodge. So you could kill their Coles, their Sophias. Extra good at, no, Sophia is probably going to be a seeker. She probably doesn't switch her stuff around. But they can't dodge, right? So he won't proc the counter attack from her, and he could just ignore her defense, kill her. Even doing half damage, you might do great there. So very cool trait. I like it a lot. Guardian's Oath is his reaction. We don't have his full tree here because I don't have him in the game. Maybe I'll use my kit to get him. He sounds like a lot of fun. I love just walking in a straight line. This guy's like a rook in chess, right? Takes melee damage for all other allies within 2 tiles around the character and performs a preemptive attack dealing 70% damage. So it says all other allies within 2 tiles. It takes 1 melee hit. They're going to go target an ally. He's going to jump in front of it, block it, counter attack with a 70% damage. It can be pretty powerful. I mean, especially if you have the weapon on that after he gets attacked, like he gets a bunch of attack or whatever on his next attack. So this is pretty cool. I don't love the reaction, especially on, I think he's a breaker. Yeah, so he's not like tanky, but it is kind of fun to have a little bit of protection here. All out pike thrust. He charges at 1 enemy within a cross-shaped range around him, dealing 60% damage before attacking. Womp womp, not much damage, but adds 30% of HP to his attack, not exceeding 200% of a physical attack. Knocks the target back 2 tiles. When causing a collision, inflicts stun on the target for a turn. So it's a relative, this looks low, but getting 30% of your HP to your attack is actually quite a bit. So you might get an extra 200% of your physical attack. So this could be theoretically a 180 damage, right? Because if you have 100% of your physical attack and you're getting an additional 200%, then this also affects magic attack, but I don't think that's relevant. That could be, you know, this would effectively, even though it looks low, will be much stronger than it looks, especially when you're then ignoring defense, right? They got to be careful with these percentages, I feel like. So overall, a pretty decent ability, honestly. I like this one. The fact that it knocks them back is good, and when it causes a collision, it stuns. However, all bosses are going to ignore all the secondary mechanics, and it's just going to be for damage. Instant. Increases his movement by 2 tiles, but restricts movement to only a straight line. I love this. This makes him a 5 movement unit. You can get him up to like 8 movement pretty easily if you use like a, the tactics thing to boost it by another 3. Increases attack by 15% after moving. Awesome. After attacking, he can move again and inherit the remaining movement. Afterward, the skill switches to assault discharge. So I assume that this is basically going to give him maybe remove his movement or something, but he'll be able to move diagonally now. He won't have to move in a straight line. And it's kind of funny because like you can move because obviously they move in a straight line. Like they move like boop, 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 but that's not what they mean. Like you literally are stuck on an XY axis. There is no diagonal movement, but you can't move over one, up one, over one, up one, right? You can move over one instant, then up or whatever. Like this being an instant skill will allow you to manipulate your movement in a pretty fun and creative way. But also it's important here, right? It says after using a skill other than an instant, the effect ends. So he keeps that even when he uses this, which is nice. All right, he's got Radiant Guard, a passive. At the start of the battle, increases his HP by 15%. This is actually going to be great for getting leaderboards. That's a lot of HP. Although this doesn't reflect in the leaderboards, you're right, because that's not until combat starts. The character is immune to the negative effects of injured. I love that. Before attacking, if the character's max HP is greater than the target's current HP, knocks them back by 1 tile. This is the ability that I was going to talk about earlier. If you have the AoE fire trinket, there's one that hits like, I don't know, it's like a 3x3 whatever diamond-esque tile. If you have more HP than all those enemies, it'll knock them all back by a tile. That is what we saw in the PvP tournament. It's actually a crazy good synergy there because it does count as an attack. It says before attacking, so maybe it knocks, I don't know. But I assume it checks if your HP is higher, your max HP, by the way. So it doesn't, he could be at 1 HP. It doesn't matter. If his max HP is higher than their current HP, so it pretty much is always going off. He gets free knockbacks like crazy and a bunch of defense. And honestly, being immune to injured is super relevant. So great. And then this is his big boy ability. This one is way stronger than, this is basically his little boy, the all-out pike thrust, which is a funny name for a not all-out attack. And then the all-out one actually has a 6-turn cooldown, but it only has 1 energy cost. But this one, you charge that one enemy within a cross shape, dealing 100% damage. Before attacking, dispels 2 debuffs from himself. Then you recover HP equal to 100% of your attack. So you are going to heal up the full. It doesn't matter because you're already immune to injured, so this probably won't increase your damage. But if you're dying, it'll definitely move you up from dying to injured at minimum, and that'll increase your attack again. Another thing to note about this, you are immune to the negative effects of injured. However, you're not immune to the negative effects of dying. So once you go from injured to dying, you're going to get like just a serious debuff. It's going to feel way, way, way weaker. Then you recover HP, adds 35% of his HP to his attack. So not only instead of doing 100%, instead of 60, it also, your 35% instead of 30% of your HP goes to your attack. So you could get up to 200% bonus physical attack. And so this could be an effective, 200-300% damage attack. Not to mention, you're also ignoring a bunch of their armor. I mean, this guy is kind of all in on this. And then it's 6 turns to do it again. But this is a big fucking hit, bro. This might be one of the strongest single target hits you can get in the game. Besides, like, maybe a Nungal, like, sniper headshot from across the map. Because it increases the damage based off the range. But if you can get someone's defense down to 0 with this, I don't know. This might be I was going to get Nurgle on my selector. But I actually think I want Leonide a lot. Overall, very cool character, very unique comparatively to a lot of things. There's characters like, I don't want to shit on anyone too much, but there's characters like Miguel where I'm just like, what do you offer that is like unique? Yeah, they got a little bit of like blind or something. But there's a lot of characters that have like, they do a good job in this game, especially at the launch characters. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Where the characters have like a lot of uniqueness to them. There's no character that's exactly like them. Even if some of them could be a little generic, Like, I mean, Rawia is a little generic. She's just like a swords person, but she's like strong. Cole is like a little bit of just a stereotypical assassin, but like this is a, you know, not on your turn. Doom Waken is not like any other ability in the game. Edda has all these barrels and items. Magnus has this AoE intimidating aura. Garcia has this ramping up attack. Akambe and Safia both summon a lot. She's a healing tank. He's a magic tank. Gus can attack many times, but Leonide is like extra unique for me, where because of his movement, it's like he's the only character that is like, he can boost his own movement by a lot, but also he just gets to move in a straight line. I just love it. It's honestly one of my favorite mechanics. It's one character that I've wanted to have since day one, and I've just never been able to get. So maybe I will finally get him, because I think he just looks like a lot of fun. I don't think he's like tier 1. I don't think he's going to be broken. I think he's going to be better served against bosses than anything else. He doesn't seem like he's going to be great at killing a bunch of little targets, because he has literally 0 AoE on a lot of cooldowns, but he does seem like he's going to be, he's like a tanky breaker for sure, in a different way than Rawia is as well. And as far as Garcia, like, she's just maybe a Gust is going to change it, because a Gust can do a lot of damage with really high stats over multiple turns. But she has been, up until this point at least, basically the highest single target damage dealer in the game, especially when she gets up to 5 stars and she just passively at 9 stacks ignores 40% of targets defense. That's a huge amount of defense, and she ignores their block as well. Not to mention, like, this ability also goes up to 165%, and she crits, and she gets a bunch of crit damage. She could boost her own. She can give herself potential burst, and like, she's just kind of a super powerful character. But she also requires a lot of investment and a lot of ranking up. She's not particularly good at low star levels. If you don't get her to at least 3 stars, I think she's practically useless. And then she doesn't really pop off until 5 stars, and even then, she's only better in longer fights, right? So she is not like, she's not like a Gust or Gloria or Simona, where there's like, yeah, this is just always a good unit. They're kind of powerful right at the start and do their shit. She is definitely a unit that you kind of just like have sit around, be there, doing nothing, and then comes in and just crits for numbers that no other character is critting for, like, without an incredible amount of support. So very fun character. I like her a lot. She does have the ability, she does have the spinning blade. If you get enough attack and you ignore their defense, this suddenly becomes way better, because it's 3 energy for 70% damage. It's an instant speed attack that she could do multiple times in theory, because it has 3 energy. She can't really. But if you're ignoring their defense, you might actually be able to kill something with this. And when you kill something with this, you get 2 energy back, and then it becomes pretty darn good. I actually don't use it that much, because it is usually like whatever. I don't use Hidden Executioner either. I actually only use Execution Time and Taste the Blood, and then I use like another passive or something like that, just because like these aren't that particularly good, honestly. But I do like her a lot. But yeah, this is a dual banner. Again, I'm gonna just say, I don't know if I said in the beginning or not. I should have. Do not pull on this, right? This is a bait banner. These are 2 launch characters. They are, just save your banner currency for the debut banner, and then wait till you get a really powerful character. And then you pull on the powerful character, and then sometimes 50, you know, if you're not going to get the 50-50, and you have a chance of the 50-50 to getting one of these characters anyway, or getting any character in the game that's in the general pool. Neither of these are like, your account is fucked if you don't have them. I think they are both very much passable units, although they are both very fun, and I am particularly interested in Leonide. I even did 2 polls. I think I did exactly 2 polls here. Yeah, 90. I was at 100. I went down to 98 because I had 2 little tickets, and I really wanted to see, maybe I get lucky. I didn't. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much. For Platypus's Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip flops. Bye.
Trend.